together or something. I don't know how I want to tackle this for posting on YouTube. Because for those who have not been catching what's been going on is I've been having the occasional time when the screen black screens and takes the whole computer down. But I am multi-streaming and all that kind of stuff right now, which I haven't done before. So it could be I'm just overloading my computer. It could be something that's happening with the double encoding that's causing the crash. It could be City Skylines. All of these are very plausible things. And unfortunately, okay, so we didn't lose really any time of progress because we have these. I had, like, it went to where I had already ranked up but hadn't chosen. So there's a geothermal. This time I'm not going to choose the technical university. It didn't strike me that this was a whole extra building, which makes sense. But I don't really have room for 3 universities right now. The city hall looked like it was going to help us out. And we need one more thing to get ourselves a bit more. So we could get the harbor for the water route, because that would give us another way to get goods in and out of the city. Is one option there. We can't get the central bank yet. None of these are going to particularly help our bottom line right now. We can't afford those. That's not going to help our bottom line. That's not going to help our bottom line. Underground parking, automated parking. So those all might end up helping, but we don't know what's important there. Mail is collected from all post office and delivered to the post office and outside connections. That's all fine. Like, the park maintenance feels like that's what I should probably have. Let's do that. I get 1 point left over. There's one thing for 1 point we can take. Sure, we'll grab that. I'm not going to build them right now. All right. So, the new buildings we got is we got City Hall, because you know you just cannot fight City Hall. City Hall is actually fairly significant in size, which shouldn't be surprising to me. Okay, so we fit City Hall in there. Cool. How much does City Hall take to run? A monthly upkeep of $160,000. Well, crap. Park maintenance. Man, I'm expensive. Let's get 2 of them. Yeah, so those, so that's, so we get 150 watt out of that. You get 20 watt. Yeah, so when you build the geothermal, so that's interesting. Yeah, so geothermal is not as clean as it was in the other game. I don't know, my volume is on. Oh yeah, no. I'm not talking about the initial purchase cost. I'm talking about the operating cost. The operating cost is $160,000 a month. But it does reduce the cost of imports, which is why I went with it. Because it reduced the cost of imports, that should help all of our businesses. So we're kind of doing those things where it's like, okay, you're going to get taxed all that to pay for City Hall, which is ultimately going to make it so you pay less for all the goods that come into your city, and therefore make you money in the long run. You know, assuming we can get the, you know, enough businesses and all that. But in the short term, ow. Yeah, that last disconnect dropped our viewership by almost half. Ow. That'd suck if it's a thing that's just like with the game that it's crashing, so unfortunately I just can't play it. That'd be really disappointing. Yeah, that was the reason I was trying to get back, you know, faster than the, oh, I see. My mod computer didn't recover gracefully. I see. But that's the reason why you have what's called disconnection protection. Is disconnection protection, what's supposed to do is if you get disconnected, so stream goes down, it gives you like a minute or 2 or whatever the amount of time is, to reconnect and pick up the stream, and everything just is supposed to carry forward fine. Whereas without it, the moment the stream drops, everyone gets dumped and has to like re-click to get back in. Which I have in, disconnection protection turned on, but it doesn't always work. But the good news is, because I got back fast enough that it didn't consider it disconnected, you didn't get hit with another ad immediately upon me starting. You're gonna get one in like 10 minutes, because that's when the next timed one would drop. But if it goes fully down because the ad hits right as I start, like it's 1 minute after I start is what does the first ad break, so I go through and I knock it out before most people are into the stream. So that way it can go as long as possible without hitting people with ads. Like, that's the only way you get more than the 3 minutes per hour if it goes down completely. Are the graphics so bad? Is mobile version or something? I mean, it looks fine to me. Do you have it where, because of internet connection, you're having an issue? Let me check to see if any settings got turned back on. Like, I'm only running at 1080p for a bunch of reasons. Let's check. Okay, dynamic thing. No, it's really pixelated? Huh. It's not looking bad for me, for what it's worth. Yeah, no, my assumption with that was that, like, if you have any internet connection issues, it'll downscale your performance a lot. So, you know, that's gotten me before. I'm like, man, what's going on? What's going on with this person's stream? Like, it's really terrible. And you go, oh no, the automatic thing decided my internet connection sucked and dropped it down to nothing. Man, that looks pretty okay. Like, don't get me wrong, this isn't a game you look at. That is like weird. That looks unnatural, but huh. I mean, this one building, when I'm far out, it kind of looks like a little weird, so I can see the compression getting really angry about this building. Kind of like where you have, what is it? Where you have, like, bad bitrate kind of things in some games. It kind of like this building kind of looks like that when I'm moving around if I'm far away. Like, when you get closer, it looks, you know, looks good. But it seems like this building just, for some reason, looks not great. But I think that's a compression thing. How's the game overall? Is it ready for prime time, or there's some updates with purchasing? So, I have been hearing a lot of people have been having performance problems. I personally have not experienced those. We are having the occasional crash, like full-on computer reboot crash, but I don't know if that's City Skylines, or if it's the fact that I'm multi-streaming to multiple platforms right now, or the combination thereof, or what is the cause of it, because it just happened during the stream, so I haven't had a chance to troubleshoot it at all. I am enjoying it. Where I was really concerned it was going to feel like it was very low on content compared to the previous title, just because of all the DLC of the previous title. Honestly, it doesn't feel that way. Does it have everything the old title did? No. But we're talking about, like, everything the old title did with all the DLCs. You watching the temperatures? I actually do not have the thing watching the temperatures up, but I could check it. Because that's been one of the theories, is that it could just be, you will let me watch the temperatures. It could be that I'm having a temperature problem kind of thing. Where are my temperatures on this ridiculously overblown UI that got...
Yay. Something D's nuts. Got him. Ooh woo.
Thank you, Such a Cookie, for the biddies. Really do appreciate that. And thank you, Eonek, for...
Thank you, Eonek, for subscribing for 4 months.
Yeah, thank you, Eonek, for the T1 sub. You had subbed to the chat.
UWU.
You've been subbed to the channel for 4 months. I really do appreciate that. Do you guys see it all pixelated? Yeah, like it could be something between me and Twitch. I'm not noticing anything, like I'm not having drop frames or all that. I don't even know what's considered a reasonable temperature for my thing. It does look like it is running hot, though. What the heck do I even have in this box anymore? I don't remember what I have in here. And honestly, the fastest way to find it is going to be to go to my own Twitch channel and look at my About section and remind myself what the heck I have in here. So I have an AMD Ryzen 9. Right. Temperature at load. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. So, taking it with Jason. I hope you had yourself a good stream. And what were we playing? We were playing some, according to this, Star Trek Infinite. But, you know, you can never really trust Twitch on what says that. So what were we playing? Did you have a good time? And those who popped in, how'd you like the stream? And all that good stuff. ADC is usually fine. Things throttle around 100C. Okay. Yeah. So I'm nowhere near 100C. Yeah, we've been having a little bit of problems. Let's see. That moment when one streamer I am sub to raids the other streamer you sub to. Excellent. But yeah, for everyone popping in, first of all, if you are into... So you were playing Cities 2? So if you're into City Skylines 2, as well as Star Trek Infinite and other games like that, maybe drop by, check it out, Faking It with Jason, and see what their channel's like, what you think, and drop a follow and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for that raid. Looks like we're about to trigger a hype train, actually. But, for those who are new over here, I am Rual Storge, do play a variety of games here on Twitch. I am most known for my exploits in Project Zomboid, where I used to hold a world record for the highest kill count ever streamed at 135,121 zombies killed in one character in one life, with hard and apocalypse settings with no mods that change itemization or vehicles. That record has been beaten, but I do play variety, including lots of city builders, settlement builders, tycoon, roguelikes, all that kind of stuff. And we have ourselves a hype train.
Keep that dial.
Thank you so much, Darstrider, for the 245 biddies. I really do appreciate that. So we do have a hype train going on. Loving the game, but making my PC into Space Eater. Yeah. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I've had two. Was it two now? 2 or 3. I've had either 2 or 3 times that's like full-on computer crash, crash reboot kind of thing. But I do start my stream at 5 p.m. EDT, so we're about 6 hours in, so we're having roughly a crash every 2 to 3 hours. It's pretty rough, but like the performance has been really good. I've been really enjoying the game, but that is a problem I got to look into. For some reason, it's been so long since they built the computer. For some reason, I thought I had an Intel processor in here, but yeah. Nah, I already hid the thing where I could see. Don't change my fan settings. That's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, no, where I have an AMD, it's sitting around upper 70Cs, which, as someone who used to use almost nothing but Intel processors, is a terrifying number to see. But also, people are like, yeah, that's normal for AMD. It's still weird to me, being that hot and that being okay. Alright. Oh, and there's a giant livestock farm that is becoming unintentionally the center of our city.
Thank you Sentient_Cookie for gifting a sub to Sepavator.
Thank you Sentient Cookie for gifting 5 subs to the channel. So, Septivata, Chaos Ellie, Silent God's Riot.
Thank you Sentient_Cookie for gifting a sub to Chaos_Ellie.
Creek Talk and Smiffles, you now have yourself some nice advertising-free viewing as well as access to the emotes whether you wanted them or not. Thank you Sentient Cookie for those 5 gifty subs, I really do appreciate it.
Thank you Sentient_Cookie for gifting a sub to Silent God's Riot.
Oh, Intel processors did catch on and they like to get toasty these days too. Gotcha. Yep, no, you got a hype train going.
Thank you Sentient_Cookie for gifting a sub to Cretan.
Oh, I forgot about the animation we added. Yeah. For those who don't know what that animation is, we have an emote called, it's like Rual Storge tab.
Thank you, Sentient underscore Cookie, for gifting a sub to
But
Smiffles.
my wife, Tomb, the first day we had that out, just stepped behind me, saw it, and started going. And of course, my camera breaks that precise moment I'm about to show it. Camera is conspiring to prevent deep channel lore from being shared. But my wife came up behind me, who her screen name is Tomb, and she started going like this, like miming the emote, and it became like one of those things that's just like a channel ritual, channel thing. And so I had a streamathon that I said, hey, if you raise this much money, I will get a recording of me and Tomb doing that, and we'll use it for something. And that's what it ended up being. But it's a fun one. And it was just a total spur of the moment thing that she was just like, looked at the emote on the screen and was just like, all right, I'll do what the emote's doing. And it stuck. All right, I was going to change where that linked up, and it's fine. It can be like that. Wiggly ooze. All right, so this is entirely not square and deeply upsetting. There we go. Alright. So I'm making, like, we've got this farm, and I'm effectively making a commercial district around it. And then, you know, building all the other stuff out. For the record, I got, like, a whole bunch more city over here. But, I was goofing off with the roundabouts, experimenting with them, and then I set myself where I'd have to, delete an entire neighborhood just to fix my roadway. And so I was like, you know what? Nah, it's fine. Alright, so we're still losing money per month, which is totally fine, actually. Okay, so our university students are still not up there yet, but we're getting there. We're slowly climbing into high school. Our elementary school is almost maxed out. Okay, and they really want me to put more commercial in here, so I have no objections to that. We're just gonna go like this. There's gonna be a giant commercial district in the middle here. Which are not getting enough customers, but they keep asking me for more commercial for some reason. So, you know, cool for them, I guess. Okay, we also unlocked 9 more tiles. I believe we have stone over here, and I think we have oil down here somewhere. So let's take a quick peek at where those are, and let's get more industry going. Yeah, so I've got whatever that is. I think that's oil. So we'll grab these tiles here, and we'll grab that stone. So we got achievement, the Explorer, for unlocking 50 tiles.
Yay. Wow, wow, wow. Babby want Neuro Supercharge. Wow, wow, wow. Babby hungry.
Thank you, Such a Cookie, for the 100 biddies. Baby always wants Neuro Supercharge. Thank you, Del Sol, for gifting.
Del Sol 1980 for gifting a sub to Mountatum 2.
Thank you, Del Sol, for gifting a tier 1 sub to MT Tomb, who is again my wife, who does not subscribe to the channel. I need to reach out. There's a thing that I can give like one person like a permanent sub kind of thing. But there's like all sorts of things that like they don't get a lot of the benefits from it. But I need to do it. There's a reason I didn't do it at the beginning, but I didn't remember it. But someone reminded me at TwitchCon. I was like, oh yeah, I should do it. Oh, we got a car accident. That is a super on fire smart car. It's fine. It's just a little fire. And this is immediately like, you need more commercial. I'm like, but do I? Do I need more commercial? I feel like I'm building almost equal parts commercial to anything that isn't commercial.
Thank you, Del Sol 1980 for gifting a sub to Rual.
Thank you, Del Sol, for gifting a tier 1 sub to Rual bot. I really do appreciate the continued support. Oh, Rawlbot, you finally get to not watch advertisements. Bot. Iron Press Building. Books to nourish the mind and soul. The luxury apartments on top. The bottom floor is a bookstore. Stocks everything from ordinary to the esoteric. Cool. We got a fancy building. Let's build our fancy building. So what did we do to unlock our fancy building? I'm looking in the wrong place, apparently. I thought it was here. Am I just misremembering? Because we had one of them earlier we unlocked. Oh, it's over here. That's right. So yeah, so that one we got +4 wellness. Okay, so that one we got from... It doesn't tell me. Basically, there's things you have to do to unlock these. So like this one is they have to have enough mixed housing buildings to get the Ember Suites. You get the idea. But we did something to unlock this building. And now I have it. That is smaller than I actually anticipated, but that is okay. Oh no, absolutely. I mean, either way, it's supporting the channel. I'm not going to complain about it. Yeah, so that's actually one of the things is to go through and, you know, build all the requirements to do these to unlock all the things. Okay. So I got all this. They still want more commercial. It's so weird. Like, the sheer volume of commercial zones they want is just... Oh, that's interesting. So this building changed shape, and when it did, they can no longer reach parking in the back of the building, and that's what's complaining about. Interesting. Well, I guess this is the good case for using the alley. Nope. Got it too close. Messed it all up. Hey, Vortison, thank you. It's good to be back. Alright, so we've got room for an alley here. Thank you, Darshart, for the 245 biddies. I really do appreciate the continued support. It does mean a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, no, the first thing going there. So we got the hype train to level 3, 61% of the way through. We had 8 gifty subs, 690 biddies, $0 for hype chat because no one should use hype chat because it's terrible value. Like it's straight up hype chat is a waste of your money. But yeah. So that didn't fix it. I'm not sure which side of that is supposed to actually be. It's fine. But yeah. The thing is much of the hype train, it really is, like, it means a lot that, you know, it's always those scary things as a content creator when you go away for a while. It 100% usually will hit your numbers and not in a good way. That when you get back, you'll see a dip of like 20-30% viewership a lot of times and have to work your way back up kind of thing. And this one, honestly, we had really good turnout. Like, honestly, we'd probably be sitting over 100 average viewers if I wasn't occasionally having the computer completely crash because of something with the multi-stream or, say, Skylines or whatever. I'm trying to keep putting this back in my screen. I can't actually going. But yeah. So I think the technical difficulties are kind of undermining what we would get with viewership. But even with those crashes, we've been still like, we broke 100 at one point. We've broken 70 a number of times. with full-on crashes, knock it down to like half viewership time. What are you streaming on? So I was streaming on both TikTok and YouTube at the same time. I got rid of TikTok for right now because of the issues.
Poor road conditions. Please exercise
So I am on
caution.
YouTube and Twitch at the same time right now.
Until conditions
Because for those who haven't been
This is
paying
an
attention to
local
what
public
happened at
service
TwitchCon,
announcement.
we got a
A
bunch of
driving advisory
really
has
good
been
news as
issued for
content
the
creators.
immediate
Lots of
area
good
due to
news.
poor
Nothing
road
but good news.
conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive.
Be quiet,
and try
radio
to
lady.
stay off the streets until conditions improve. This has been a local public service announcement.
This is Second Moon Radio,
Okay.
classical for the modern age. Unlike most modern music, classical has always been penned by someone sitting
Ran
in
into a
front
parked
of
car.
using
Shame.
only their imagination.
Was it TwitchCon highlights? Yeah, so that's I was waiting for the radio to be quiet because it's just a thing with me that I don't like talking over other people.
Full volume.
So when in game you have a voice talking, it does the same effect for me where I'm just like I kind of quiet down, waiting for them to be quiet.
On to the next.
Yeah, what a $1.40.
We're live, and we're getting reports about a
I
traffic
beat the
accident,
house.
somewhere.
What was the little
in
heart?
the city?
Road maintenance services have already been dispatched,
What-
and
what is the
traffic
little
flow
heart?
should return to normal. But if you're planning a quick trip
That's
out,
cool that there's
you
a heart
might
there,
want
but
to
what
wait
does
a
it
little
mean?
while until everything clears up.
If you're in it, you already know about it. No use reminding you. Meanwhile,
I
expect
don't
you to
understand.
drive safe.
Industry in the region is on the rise, and when business is
Do-
doing well, that
Can we check in on
floats
Strider?
our boat.
Sure.
You're sinking this boat, Glenda.
Once the dialogue stops, I'll go into it. So yeah, so Strider is still an adult running around. They are uneducated, employed. They work at Fabricio's, which we'll check that out in a moment. They believe they found the fun with Gazelle Dewey, and that was in October 2023. So yeah, you've been with that person for 5 months now. So congratulations on that. Avenia's dead, moved out of town. Not that I've seen. Yeah, so you're working at a textile factory now. We got Burning Sun and Pseudo Swede are senior citizens, but they haven't died yet.
What's the worst that could happen?
Alright, so yeah, you have retired. You made it. And not only did you retire, you retired wealthy, and you met a special someone. So Burning Sun is living the good life. Yeah, anyone can become a citizen. You just gotta let me know. It'll just take me a moment, because what I do is I pop in here, and I find whoever said the last thing in Chirper, and we add you in there. So, Vortis, you are an educated adult who is wealthy. Your employer is Uwantnitsi, or I don't know how you pronounce that. We'll add you to followed so that we can find you. Oh, your occupation is a robber. You're a wealthy robber. I mean, congratulations for beating the odds, I guess? Most people who get into crime, it's usually not something that works out for them in the long run. Why are you all abandoned? Poor education services. Did have we over... No? I think it's just time we have to build in our schools, honestly. Like the Italian job. That's where it's like, what is this name? I think it was the name of an individual instead of a name of like a company or whatever, because, you know, crime get a crime, I guess. Alright, so boom. Elementary school. And they still want low density housing, which I wish they would stop wanting. So that should help with the education services provision. But yeah, so anyone who wants the name, you just gotta let me know. If I do miss it, just basically be like, hey, can I get a person named after me? But then what you can do is you can watch them. And that later, if you're like, hey, how am I doing in the city, we can pop in, take a quick look. Because it does seem like it takes, like, the rate things change in this game is a little bit slower than, say, Skylines 1, which is, I think, reasonable. Not necessarily the best for streaming. Gila says, move's done. I wonder how long it'll take to empty these boxes. And then immediately scrolled past them so I couldn't see. Yeah, so you still work for the lumber place, and you live in this house right here. You're living in one of the very few walkable neighborhoods. Consume the orphans? I don't know what you're talking about, Strider. You say words. Oh, dinner? How did you know I've been terrible about eating my dinner? Other than it's what I always have. Other than that is that is a immutable reality. Yeah, what I'll do here is I'll probably kill the audio for a minute. We'll still keep playing. I'll kill the audio and all that. While I make some, like, I've got my dinner like right here. I just need to do the thing where it goes in my mouth. But I mute the audio, and usually I'll sit there and have my hand from my mouth, so that way, you know, people who that is an uncomfy thing don't have to deal with the uncomfiness of it. Yeah, so we need industry. What's for dinner today? Chili. Toon was so kind as to make it. She snuck off downstairs and took care of it. It would be kind of fun if I could literally put the stone mine, whatever it is, like right up against her. I'm pretty sure I have to have an off-shooting road. Alright, so let's try and make this work. So 1-lane highway road. We are going, so not 1-lane highway road. We're going to take a 1-lane road. We're going to bring it over here. I want it to be parallel to that road. It's not doing what I want, that's fine. So we're gonna set this just like that. There's just a quick turn off. The moderation team needs to be fed. Look, I can get you an extra bucket of fish heads if you really want. It's only reasonable. I don't even remember where I got that from. There's definitely someone else who, so we need 68 tons of that, 51 tons of that, 42 tons of that. That is a problem because, actually, you know what? It might be okay. Let's change this a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the entrance and exit off of that. I'm going to scooch it over here and then drop it in like that. Yeah, there was someone who I heard make that joke before. I don't remember who it was.
Yay. Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, fish heads, eat them up, yum.
I mean, okay. I wasn't expecting people to be excited about that, but you know. Alright. Let's make this a 2-lane road. We'll have it go right up here. Let's check how that's gonna go. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put... Yeah, that'll work. Trying to put a whole bunch over here. Let's see, do you know what happened to the person who made the joke earlier? Because I don't. but I hope they're doing well. Alright, so I think we put the stone right here, because that's one we need the most of. I'll deal with that in a moment. We will go over here, and I'll put the coal on this end, because that's the one I need the least of. And that one bugged on placement, which we've had. That's the only bug I've seen a decent amount of, is sometimes when I go to place these businesses, the industrial ones like this, that they won't appear. You just put them down again, they fix. And the last one is going to be the gemstones, which you're going to put up here. Okay. So, you're the big one, so you get dibs. We're gonna have it like consume all the space. As much as it'll let me take. Oh, right, I got the city limits like right there. We have to do a weird like funky little zigzag thing. Okay, so that takes care of that one. Well, that's interesting. So it's also showing that one there as well. Oh, right, because you can like kind of merge them or whatever. All right, so we can go to this one. Same deal. We just want to expand that out to as much as we can cover. Okay, it takes care of that one. And finally, you. All right. Drag that all the way up there. It doesn't need to be perfect, just trying to get what we can out of this. Yeah, I'll take it a little ways along there. Okay, so that should be getting about all the stone I can get my hands onto, as well as coal and all that. So that's going to be a ridiculous number of jobs we're going to have. The downside is they do not have a connection for water and sewer and all that kind of stuff, so I'm going to have to provide that. You take that out to the highway out here. Okay, so those are all hooked up, and now I need power. So the thing I haven't quite figured out is bridging of power. You haven't figured out how to bridge power between like the big and oh, you know, I bet you I need a transformer. That's actually annoying that it has such a high upkeep. Yeah, that's the thing is like, wait a second, transformer. It's annoying that's like 6,000 a month, but oh goodness, that is not what I was expecting you to look like. I think it's fair that you look like that. Okay. Yeah, so you have to upstage and downstage power. It makes sense. And with that, all that should be online. Let's make bad choices. Bum. Now they can get into that area easier. Yep, so we have giant harvesting. I hope it actually makes it look like it digs down, whether or not it even means anything. I think that'd be a cool effect to, like, see it slowly sink down as the giant mining operations just eat up all that. So that should be a ridiculous amount of industrial jobs now. Because that's 115 jobs, that's 93 jobs, and that's 31 jobs. Okay. And there's the teeniest, tiniest demand for medium residential. Not really having any major office demand, which kind of surprises me. Okay, so that's that main road through there. This should probably become a main road over here. What I think I'll actually do, though, is we'll keep the two-way road that way, like box it all around here, to make it faster than use the smaller roads in between. Of course, these things aren't exact yet, which is deeply upsetting. Alright. There's no winning. It's fine. It's deeply upsetting, but fine. Like I said, that's in the other one where I would use the Move It mod and just fix it all myself and be like, yeah, no, that's to be corrected. Okay, so I've got all that area scoped out. So I've got this main road that goes around here. And then it's just like all these like little feeder roads that pop off of it. So the idea is you take that main road around wherever you're going, and you just go off to the feeder road anytime you want to get to whatever. I'm not too worried about like the middle area. It's a freaking farm. So we have a lot of desire for industrial, which I cannot satisfy over here because it'll be too much of a pain. They're complaining that the rent is too high for industrial. That's okay, we'll get there. Yeah, I'll just do that. Pop over here for just regular industrial. We'll go ahead and contaminate the local groundwater because, you know, why not? Alright, so getting all that sorted out over there to give us some just generic industrial. We are getting demand for medium residential. So we can have apartment building style. We can have row style. I like the row style more, honestly. We'll put something here like a park, I think. I did not, Strider. That sounds like one of those things that people would claim, but it's actually got... Like, if there is a basis in reality, it's so far removed, it's... Like, it barely matches anymore. Usually when you hear, like, ridiculous stories like that, that's usually the case. The more you know music plays. Yeah, it's just... Usually when I hear a story like that, I'm going to be immediately skeptical. But that's just how often those things end up being, you know, not necessarily what they seem to be, kind of thing. So I'm trying to decide how I want to zone these. Because we have low density... Badly draw star and rainbow flyby. Go ahead and make that more residential over here. Right now, I'll make this mixed zoning. More than likely, we're going to put like some type of functional building there. And the population is continuing to climb. We're not really making more money yet. We're just kind of continuing to expand and expand and expand and expand. Ground pollution is a problem here. Okay, if that's the case... what we're gonna go ahead and do... Oh, right, that makes sense. Because originally this was commercial, and we rezoned it to be joined, and that's now a problem. So that's just gonna be dezoned entirely, and dezoned entirely. Gotcha. It's those things that we don't know what the reality of that situation was, but it probably wasn't what it appears to be. If so, that's cool. But I'm just usually skeptical a lot of those things. Because like also one of those problems, a lot of those stories just end up being there's no good way to verify them. They're at 90. And 180, cool. So you can fix that. Yeah. No, I get that, Strider. It's just one of those things. It's an impressive thing, but it's one of those stories that it ends up you hear a lot of those stories, and they tend to be like some of them have some basis in truth, to be clear. But like, you know, each retelling it gets a little bit more impressive and a little bit more impressive and a little bit more impressive. So like maybe the actual story is they both crash landed, they had a shootout on the ground, and that's the way it ended. But then you're like, no, they weren't on the ground. Oh no, they were way up in the air. Oh, they both had to eject, like, you know, how it kind of gets ramped up with each telling every time. That, unless you have something that actually has, like, recorded history, it's so hard to prove or disprove any of it that you can't separate the retold version that's... What's the word I want to say? Where they kind of over talk what happened from what actually happened. And a lot of times what actually happened can be a very impressive thing within itself. But, it is the thing that is unfortunately... Yeah, the fact from fiction. Embellishment, that's the saying. The embellishment from the actual story. And that happens with all sorts, like, historic events are especially vulnerable to that kind of thing. Where, again, if you don't have some, like, boots on the ground, recording it, like, on camera kind of thing, it just ends up being such a problem for a lot of that stuff. And the sad thing is, some of the stories are true that are like so ridiculous and over the top. But most of the time, Most time there's not. There's a bunch that don't even have anything, especially with World War II. You got to be especially careful because both sides were slinging around propaganda so much. All right, sorry, you take it easy. Like, still people to this day believe that carrots are like some magical superpower vegetable for your eyes. And that actually came out of World War II propaganda, that the British had figured out how to do radar, and they were just like, oh no, it's because we eat all these carrots, that they're spreading all these rumors and propaganda around how, like, you know, you need to eat your carrots, they're good for your eyes kind of thing, to throw the Germans off. And even though it's 100% confirmed propaganda nowadays, it's still, like, people swear it's like, oh, you've got eye problems, you need to eat your carrots. It's like, yeah, there's, like, don't get me wrong, not getting enough beta-carotene is not good for your eyes, but it is not some magical vegetable that
has been issued for the immediate
just handles
area
those
due
things.
to poor road conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve. This has been a local public service announcement. Pending updates to our power grid, the city will be experiencing rolling blackouts. We urge the public to remain calm during these breaks in service and to follow the guidelines on the city's website on how to plan for these temporary events. This has been a local public service announcement.
This is Second Moon Radio, classical for the modern age. Unlike most modern music, classical has always been penned by someone sitting in front of a sheet of blank paper, using only their imaginations as guides through a silent...
Oh, I need
audio
groundwater for that to work.
Now, here we sit, listening at full volume, and
Huh.
our souls are transported. But
That's
let us not
interesting.
tarry. On to the next episode.
A
So-
housing shortage is driving up prices in the area.
That's right, Glenda. But apparently...
So the
that's
geothermal,
not
I need to build it on
good.
groundwater.
We're joined today by an expert guest, Professor Nutbutter.
Welcome, Professor. So a housing shortage is bad for the people trying to move here, right?
Hey, the follow.
Humans
Welcome to the
are
stream.
programmed to desire certain representations within ideological reward structures, which are entirely apart from the actual rewards enjoyed. For example, consider capital.
One final question, Professor. Is the housing shortage going to make me richer?
By certain metrics, perhaps yes, in the short term.
I like the sound of that.
But what we are discussing is the study of a statistical abstraction and its effect on the human.
Thank you, Professor.
It is a question of priorities.
And on to our main feature story. The
Okay.
commercial district is booming as the area is attracting more high-end stores, bringing the latest in luxury to our neighborhood. You can now shop for designer shoes while sipping a fancy local Jarva
All
latte.
right.
Or so my wife tells me. That's good for business and good for the community.
Thanks, Jim.
So we've got all that.
We'll be back.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down the coal plant. So sorry, everyone who works at the coal plants. I'm sorry. It's time. It's just the way it is. You knew it was coming. You saw it. Let's see. How much money do you start out with? Or does it depend on how you start out? That is an excellent question that has an answer that I do not know off the top of my head. Generally speaking, with the way the money's felt, I only had one time that money actually got low. Because it's the same kind of thing where as you level up and hit your milestones, they give you a huge chunk of change. That honestly, I feel like it could benefit from... What is going on here? Electricity
Yay.
bottleneck.
Hashtag this is so sad. Alexa, play Despacito.
Okay, so we have a problem right now where we got electrical bottleneck. Sometimes you gotta play Sometimes you gotta play it, man. Okay. So basically, we hit an area that the underground power line didn't have enough, didn't have enough throughput. Oh, good, the camera's broken. Didn't have enough throughput to handle the amount of power we were pushing through it. So we hit a bottleneck. So even though we could produce enough power, we couldn't get it where it was needed. So I had to take it where we had this main trunk, this main line, and I just basically routed a second way around. I also like how the mining vehicle, the extractor, seems like it's driving directly onto the road. I really hope this does cut away the terrain over time. Like, to me, that would be amazing. Like, even if it just fills in the moment you go and replace it, but just to have this, like, where it's cut down clearly lower would be fun for me. Alright, so we've got a lot of the middle density housing. I think that's low density that I put there. It's kind of honestly hard to tell a lot of the time. But another area of houses over here. And we hit a new milestone. So yeah, so this is the thing, like, the money has not been a problem as long as you're continuing to grow, because they just give you so much money each time. Which they always gave you money in City Skylines, it's just the amount of money feels like it's perhaps maybe a bit too generous. So what does the central bank do? Let's see, houses, research trades, financial advisors and all that who can combine to lower prices of interest rates, as well as reduce the price of imported goods to increases export profits. So, I mean, in theory, assuming the cost of actually running that thing isn't astronomical, which it totally will be, that would be the move. There. Oh. Vertigo Square. Citizens will be dizzy with excitement living here. Alright, well, I'll check that out in a minute. Harbor? Yeah, the harbor's definitely one we should be considering. Yeah, an international airport would also be good in the long run. So, I do think we go for the harbor. We have 6 more points to level stuff up. I don't think we go for the international airport, but I do think we go for getting the better parks and all that to help people out. We haven't been having a bandwidth issue. Those are cool and all, but they're like large buildings I can't afford. Yeah, the water treatment plant might not be a terrible idea. Well, grab the parking area in case it ends up being a problem. They have it available. The bank is in the center of the city, duh. Absolutely. Alright, so let's start here. So we got the Vertigo Square. Yeah, so that's considered a bridge, which is why I wasn't trying to build there. It is a tiny little narrow building. Which fits perfectly right there. Okay. So next up we have oil drilling is now an option. And we have high density housing. Which is probably something I'll get myself in some real trouble with. Road-wise, we've got a bunch of parking. But we haven't had need for it yet. I mostly grabbed it just because. Alright. So we do have the harbor. Hmm. I'm trying to see how I hook that up, because they're supposed to have a water connection here. You need to widen the waterway? Yeah. The thing that surprises me is I was expecting to have the option here of, like, adjusting things. Because I didn't see the connection, because this is where the ocean is, or whatever. Here, let's, we're not gonna place in our one. So we've got this. Ah, I see how this works. Okay. Oh, so it's not going to work because it's outside of our city limits. I have to manage to get the city limits all the way over there. Like, we can widen that, but I still have to manage to, get this all the way to ourselves. So this is dead on arrival right now. I'm not going to delete it, but I'm going to just shut it down. It's not going to be able to be usable till I can reach to, like, over here. Still, that's fine. Parks. Yeah, that's just the nature of this map that I did choose a place where there's not a whole lot of room. It's a large city park, a large playground, tennis court, outdoor
This
gym.
is an emergency broadcast to all citizens. Increasing areas of forest are being engulfed by flames. The thick smoke rising from the fire makes the air dangerous to breathe. Citizens are advised to vacate any premises near the fires and remain at a safe distance until emergency services manage to get the fires under control.
Yeah, I'll deal with that later. Yep, there's fire. As you do. So we've got medium density. Gonna get all that built. I do miss a lot of mods from, say, Skylines 1, where we could have, like, the city health check thing here, where it would show you the gauges about, like, how your education's going and all that without having to drill in. Why? Oh, college and university are considered different tiers in this. Okay. That makes sense. Like, man, we're just really not getting many people through the pipeline. That explains a lot of really awful things. Where am I putting your campus? You do fit up here. So I think you go up here. Alright, meanwhile, I'm going to mute my microphone before we get distracted again and eat a little bit of food, and we'll get right back to it.
Kill them all.
Recent spikes in demand have led to temporary local shortages in the city's fresh water supply. The public should be aware that we are struggling to get the situation in hand. This has been a local public service announcement.
A driving advisory has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve. This has been a local public service announcement.
All right, sorry about that. The chili is good and all that, but it's a little on the salty side. I'm like, man, I really need a drink. And it's like, oh crap, I ran out. So rather than like hacking and coughing into like the mic and all that, I was like, let me just run over and do that.
Y'all got clarinets and violins, but you got
Let's see, it's pretty cool now because you get to follow. Yeah, so that's
Let me guess. Lineage traced back to the.
All right, let me check where we were left off.
Let's see.
So it does throw things you're unprepared for at you. That said, I haven't seen anything too bad yet. We've had forest fires which have been pretty meh. We did see a tornado, but it didn't hit us. But that's always been a thing in City Skylines, and honestly, it's like, even if a tornado went through here, like, it might cut through a couple of buildings, you replace the buildings, and you're back in business. The worst it could do is just, like, smack into a power plant or that. That can be pretty bad, but, that's about as bad as it can get. And usually that's pay money and it's better. Let me catch up with chat. Let's see, did that man just tweet his address? Seems like Rual needs to teach these people the internet safety courses. Yeah, so it's actually a thing, and don't test it, that, per suggestions with, like, AutoMod and everything, or per suggestions at TwitchCon, one of the things we added was, like, AutoMod, that I added a bunch of stuff, that there's two parts to it. There's one that, stuff like, the standard address structure, I've got a thing that's supposed to try and, you know, if it's will try and delete the post real fast, and be like, hey, don't post addresses. The only reason I haven't just deleted it and not more is because it's going to be prone to false positive until we get kind of moved in. Yeah, no, I got you, Dion. Check. But as I say, the other thing we also did is for a bunch of things that are like locations in my general area, I set up AutoMod where if people like, or it's very clearly like looking like they're trying to dox me, that it goes for a 24-hour timeout. That way I can, you know, investigate to see if it's actually a doxing attempt or just, you know, friendly fire, as it were. Did I do that? Oh yes, my favorite place to DJ is Chicken Farm, yeah. Isn't City Skylines a ripoff of Farmville? No. It's all Pong, man. It's all Pong. Everything you see here is just a mod of Pong. Halo Reach? It's just Pong. Farmville, man, that's a real stretch in that one. Yeah, it's Pong all the way down. Yeah, like, if you were like, isn't it just a ripoff of SimCity? And it'd be like, I mean, ripoff? No, because SimCity stopped bothering to make their games. You thought Pong was an emote? Yeah. It's also a ripoff of Pong. I mean, all they did is they took Pong and they just dropped a letter. Tetris is Pong 2.0. Yeah, no, it's a thing. People is like, isn't this a this clone or isn't that clone? And in all the time I've streamed, so I won't call something a clone unless it's like straight up trying to like copy it, like where they're like ripping assets and those kind of things. Then I'm like, yeah, it's a clone. But like a lot of design, art, and software is all iterative, where you'll have the thing that came before you, and you'll do something to, you know, make it better, make it different, whatever. So what is your deal? Why were you unhappy? I mean, they seem lack of entertainment. They're like, this neighborhood is boring. All right. High noise pollution, really? Does the college make so the college actually makes a decent amount of noise. Yeah. Oh, Randy does that. Oh, I totally forgot, because earlier, we started talking about what's going on at, like, TwitchCon, all that. So with TwitchCon, what we ended up happening, because that's where I've been for the last week, which is why I was not here. Let's add tennis courts, why not? There. That'll clear out some space, get them away from the noise and all that. So with TwitchCon, yeah, the standing on shoulders of giants, exactly. But, with the things I got TwitchCon so far as the big announcements. So the big one for a lot of people is that we no longer are limited to streaming just on Twitch and TikTok or mobile first. They got rid of the exclusivity thing. So like right now we are streaming on multiple platforms. Now there's still some caveats with that. Like for example, if I'm streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, I'm not allowed to like deliberately like try and get people to switch over to YouTube kind of thing. Like you can't be like, hey, all the people over here, have you seen that I'm streaming over there? Like I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not allowed to combine the chats of the platforms and put it on the screen where like viewers can see it. So I can have Twitch on my screen, but I can't have like Twitch and YouTube on my screen. I can't put YouTube on my screen. I can't do like that kind of stuff. And all these rules, which I think some of them are not petty, but some of them like, is that really that big a deal? They're just trying to avoid like having you encourage people to go over to a different platform to view. I don't think they're particularly like they're not a big deal to me. Like whatever. But there is the negative of now if I'm talking to someone who is watching on the YouTube side of things, you know, it is going. Oh, I'm sorry. Speaking of which, I'm sorry. So the GPU I'm running on is, I believe, a 4090, if I'm not mistaken. I have all my information on my Twitch About section. So I do apologize. Oh, it's an RTX 3090? Yeah, I totally believe it. It's in the About section. Whatever's in the About section is correct. I don't look at my hardware very often because I set up, I went, cool. And I really don't pay attention past that because it's not relevant until I need to replace it. Yeah, it's kind of a ridiculous policy. I think it's a needless policy, but at the same time, that kind of policy, I'm like, okay, like, I probably wouldn't do it anyway, so whatever. But regardless, yeah, I took the chat off screen. I've been debating doing that anyways, because for a lot of people, it's a distraction. And then on a lot of your tools, it does put like the actual chat down there where it's more readable and all that. So I've always like, it's been a thing that I put the chat up here and then gotten rid of it and then put it back up and then gotten rid of it over the years. That is always kind of wish-wash. I wasn't sure which was better. But then it's also like, okay, well, if now it's going to be a problem, whatever. You said you like using it as a basis of seeing stream delay? Yeah, it had benefits. But, like, there's also negatives to it. So it's always those ones that I kind of went back and forth. It's like, okay, should it be here? Should it not be here? But, makes you feel less conscious about talking. The lack of it or having it there? With it gone is... Okay, so for you, it being gone, you would say is a benefit. Like, that's the thing. Like, as well as things, it's always, like, really 50-50, so, yeah. Like, it's always been one of those things that, like, there's pros and cons. And so, like, that's just one of those things where, like, alright, yeah, I'll just pull it. And, like, that was the only, like, big rule around that. One of the other benefits that we got told about, being stream delay, it's very low here, pretty high on YouTube. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all. I've heard before that YouTube has a very high stream delay by comparison to Twitch. Just in general. And then TikTok would be comparable to Twitch on stream delay. And that's what I've heard. Like, today's the first I've had any chance to compare it or anything, which is fine. But yeah. So the second thing we got was they have rebranded. Everyone forgets about Facebook got rid of their live streaming thing. Their live stream gaming thing is gone. Like, you can still live stream over there, but they're not promoting it anymore. They're not doing anything to help discoverability or anything like that. So it's this kind of thing. Do you like to watch your chat as on screen to watch? And read full screen mode? Yeah. There's also challenges of, like, it covers screen real estate, and so there's definitely times I'd, like, move chat around, like, 4 or 5 times to get a good spot. OnlyFans? I mean, technically, I have no idea if OnlyFans has streaming. I wouldn't be interested personally. But technically, if they do offer it, we would be perfectly okay to stream to both of those. I have a feeling what people expect from their audiences in both locations is significantly enough different that it may be hard to make that work. But let's not get too far down these very clearly adult websites. But technically you would be allowed to stream to multiple of those. It's just, again, I feel like the expectation of what you would expect to see on those would be far enough different. What you do to be successful in one platform would either be against the rules of the other platform or just not something people would be interested in seeing on the other platform. But the second thing they did is they rebranded. I forget what the old branding of it was. The thing where you could stream with other people. They rebranded that to Stream Together, and I honestly think it's a new feature that a lot of people are sleeping on, because the old one was kind of dead on arrival. No one really cared. You love how the town's developed around a chicken farm? Yeah, I kind of wish I made that a circle there, but maybe go back. You know, man, it says tremendously a lot. Okay, but so what ends up happening with the new Stream Together feature, multicast thing. Yeah, we have the multicast thing as one, but we're already talking about the next thing, which is the next big item, is that they took Stream Together, whatever like its previous branding was. I don't remember it off the top of my head. And they've kind of they've rebranded it, but they've also made it like way, way better. Because the problem with the old one is kind of like weirdly, like it was beneficial, but also kind of hurt as well. Because you'd stream with another person, and yes, there'd be the benefit of you be getting more exposure to more people, but at the same time, you'd also have that like weird situation where, because you're on separate channels, that you'd tend to have one of the channels would benefit way more on the viewership versus the other one, that it kind of hurts you as well. It was still, in my opinion, more good than bad, but there's definitely like it's you know, it's got its pros and cons. With Stream Together, they're changing it so if I stream and I have 100 viewers, and you know, Cookie joins me, that we're streaming together, Cookie joins me, and Cookie has 50 viewers. Both of us get credit for 150 viewers for that time. Like, you know, whatever the combined amount is. That everyone involved gets credit for that. Which is really, really good. Now, you're not going to be able to use it to boost people into partner, because it's not going to count towards, like, the partner thing. Kind of like how raids don't count, but towards that. But, like, if you can imagine we hop into a category, and there's, like, the one person who's got 2,000 viewers or whatever, and you get like 4 or 5 people to stream together as a group, and we all have 200-300 viewers or whatever each. Now suddenly we can actually be ahead, like the leading person in the category as like a collective group, which means more ability to move around on Twitch, be discovered, be noticeable, and all that kind of stuff. And there's just lots of other benefits, and it doesn't like I can actually have it where I'm streaming on camera a single player game, and I'm streaming together with someone else, and they're there for audio. So both our channels, in theory, I guess, would see the video side of it. Both of us would get the viewership benefit, even though one of us actually isn't on camera, but is instead, you know, what, like, you're almost doing the thing where, like, one person's playing your, like, podcast kind of format in the background.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. Increasing areas of forest are being engulfed by flames. The thick smoke rising from the fire makes the air dangerous to breathe. Citizens are advised to vacate any premises near the fires and remain at a safe distance until emergency services manage to get the fires under control.
It's fine. A little fire never hurt anyone. Okay. But yeah, so the Stream Together thing is, I think it's, you know, people talk about like the metas or whatever. I honestly think that Stream Together thing is going to be one of those things that is probably going to have significant ramifications platform-wide. Now, we don't know what that looks like. We don't know if like it'll be bad, good, otherwise. But I do think you're going to see a lot of people doing more collaborative streams than you saw before, because of how powerful a tool that likely is going to be. Like, I know if I have the opportunity, I will absolutely not, like, I'm not gonna do it like every stream kind of thing. I'll absolutely try and make it a thing that, like, once a week, once every other week, that we do a collab stream. With some, yeah, I feel like there's definitely gonna be some abuse of it, absolutely. Once a decade? Probably not that far off. That's how often I'll do my, like, my horror content and all that. I don't really do hardly any of that. Alright. I never did buy the land we were looking at. Has there been anything planned, has there been anything about planned features for this game? Not that I'm aware of, but Paradox's entire model is release a game that feels complete within itself, and then going, yes, and another DLC, yes, and another DLC, yes, and another DLC. And for the most part, I actually use Paradox as a company who, in my opinion, for not when you buy in late, there's a problem there, but for when you buy into the game and you like go like version to version, does a really good job of making the DLC feel like it's worth it. They usually add enough to make it worthwhile. It's not just, you know, a couple more shirts or anything like that. They do have some cosmetic only stuff, but they do just think real long and hard before you say something too wild, because we do not mind banning people, depending on which way you're going with that wild. No game will ever be better than GTA. I wouldn't say that at all. GTA is a good game, in my opinion, but it's a bold claim. Okay, let's grab that one for the more stone. I have 9 more tiles. We can get to the oil over here. Sales prove it. It's not the, I don't think it's the most sold game by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, GTA will probably break some records. I'm not going to argue that. I do think that is true. Yeah, I should have been going that way. Well. Yeah, I was going to say, sales at best are 2 entirely different metrics. Oh. I should have gone over there. That's fine. Alright. Man, that's a good game, like... I'm not saying that's not the case.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin.
The Fire and Rescue Service reports that fires are currently spreading in the nearby forest. The billowing clouds of smoke pose a serious health risk to anyone nearby. At this time, all citizens in the affected area are instructed to immediately move to a safe distance until the situation is under control.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's like GTA is a perfectly decent game and all that. I've enjoyed my time with GTA 5 and all that. It wouldn't make my top 20 though. Like, it's a good game, but like the online, you can't really enjoy it at all hardly because they don't do hardly anything for actually handling their moderation very well. They just let people come in and hack and cause problems. They eventually ban them. Having a popular artist does nothing. Yeah, no, I said I wouldn't put it in my top 20. I usually don't keep like a top 10 or anything like that. But my point is more, GTA had a really good time with it, but like the lack of handling the cheating and all that in the online makes the online, like, I've got a lot of progress in it, but it's something I don't think I'll ever even go back to. Just because it's hard to enjoy it at all. Because you can do stuff to like get yourself in your own lobby and all that by like faking that you've got a bad connection and all that. But eventually it will put you back in a lobby with everyone else. And then you almost have to like go out of your way to like get yourself pushed in your own lobby again. Because I don't think I've ever gone even half a night of playing it without, you know, running into someone who like makes the sky turn to fire and then just things start exploding, or just God mode causes trouble. Like, it's really hard to enjoy GTA Online without immediately just going into stuff that isn't in the main map because of how over the top the modding gets. I like that this actually puts a retaining wall in here as opposed to immediately going into a bridge. Because that's the one that the, say Skylines 1 did, was always like just immediately make a weird bridge that'd be like halfway, versus a retaining wall is how you'd actually handle that. That was the problem with Red Dead Online 2. Yeah, I only played a little bit of Red Dead Online. I liked what I did play, but when I heard it was kind of the same problem, like that just turned me off for putting too much time into it. Like I had a couple of buddies that's playing games online. They had a couple sessions of it that I had a good time in it. But it's just kind of one of those ones that when people are like, oh yeah, it's got the same problems as, you know, GTA Online. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, then I'm out. That's fine, Ganner. Don't give him a penny. We're allowed to have different tastes. Alright, so we got this industry going. Things seem to be going pretty good in the city. Let's take a quick look at our stuff we've got going on. So we've got a lot of pollution around here, but that's fine. That's intended. The noise pollution, we're mostly keeping away from the residential, which is good. The ground pollution is pretty much where you expect it. That's fine. Air pollution, pretty mild. Hey, Dusty, how's it going? I mean, honestly, I doubt very many people are going to care what you play, Ganner. I feel like you're trying to make something into a hot take controversial issue that is not even a lukewarm take. Alright, so citizen wealth is not going great. It is improving, but it's not going great. Yeah, had a good time. Oh! And circling back to the TwitchCon stuff, so the stream together stuff is like really good. Another thing they did is they're doubling the amount of animated emotes everyone gets. So if you're a partnered streamer, it means instead of 5, you have 10. And if you're an affiliate, because they unlock them gradually, basically where you'd have one animated emote, now you have 2. Where you'd have 2, you'd have 4. Where you'd have, 3, you'd have 6. You get the idea. So we are looking for more suggestions for animated emotes. Please put those on the Discord, or have someone put those on the Discord on your behalf. Don't just tell me on stream. I will 100% forget them before the stream's over, and that's not going to help anyone. Alright. So yeah, so we're starting at a decent amount of population density around here and here. It's still very low population density. As far as the citizens' age, it's getting kind of there. How's this game? I've been enjoying it so far. A lot of people are reporting having performance issues, unfortunately. I've not had that, but we have had the stream crash a couple of times. I'm trying to keep an eye on it if it's a heat thing. I have noticed my temperature's a little bit warmer, which is a little alarming, but it's not up to the threshold where people are like, no, that's really a problem. So I don't know if it's a heat thing. I don't know if it's a Skylines thing. I don't know if it's a me multi-streaming to multiple platforms thing. But we did have a couple of crashes there. Am I gonna be streaming just this today? Probably. That's fine, Ganners. You like car games? Well, I mean car games and Titanfall. That's fine. No one's gonna be upset about that. Your favorite one is Tangent. I'm not sure how it's legal. There's some weird ones that get through, and then there's weird ones that they get rid of. Alright, so land value here is terrible due to the wealth being so poor. Mario Kart's a good game. Yeah, we have all of those. And everything's saying it's fairly suitable for offices. We have our industry all in yellow. Got our commercial here that's doing fine. Residential's been doing pretty okay. Like, this whole area is no good for residential. Yeah, my summer car is also one of the games I intended on playing, and I just haven't done it yet. So right now, we are importing convenience food as our primary import. They have textile, petrochemicals, timber, food. We're actually not importing that much compared to exporting. We're exporting a ridiculous amount. We have no measurable amount of tourism. We actually have a pretty big lapse in leisure along this road, so let's add some leisure stuff here. So we've got a basketball court over there. A skate park over here. An outdoor gym down there. And that should cover all the stuff our needs over here. Our internet connectivity is mostly good. We get over here and we start having a drop off. Alright, no problem, Ganners. Weird take. Must be very new niche, never heard of it. Tomb just trying to cut deep. Nah, no, I think he was just here to try and cause trouble. And then we didn't rise to it, it's like, whatever. That won't be the first or the last time. Hey, look, we're making money now. Does this actually need, like, road access? Yes, this did need road access. And I'm pretty sure they're just here trying to cause trouble. But when we didn't take the bait, they're like, just, you know, got bored and moved on. So getting ourselves set up with better internet connection. Wait, did he have Trump emotes? Yeah, for the record, if people put up like political emotes, those I'll treat the same as people like doing the hot take political kind of things, or just like, you know, a person that pops in who just drops some little thing.
Please exercise caution if you must drive, and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve. This has been a local public service announcement. A driving advisory has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive, and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve. This has been a local public service announcement.
That was truly superfluous. Masterful counterpart. You're listening to Second Moon Radio, the station of levitated tastes.
Okay.
Don't touch that dial.
So we're gonna expand our college.
The region is on the rise, and when business is doing well, that floats our boat.
There's no sinking this boat, Glenda. We're live.
Okay.
And we're getting
Let's
reports
see.
about a traffic
Provides extended selection.
somewhere
Better chances of
in the city.
graduating.
Road maintenance services have already been dispatched, and traffic flow should return
So we
to
expanded
normal.
the campus
But if
to
you're planning a
handle
quick trip out,
500
you
more
might want
students.
to wait a little while until everything clears up.
If you're in it, you
Wait, what?
you already know about it. No use reminding you. Meanwhile, expect delays and drive safe.
Okay. But we finally made the Blunderbot Factorio. Excellent game. You will not regret that. I mean, unless you're worried about your time balance. You might regret what it does to your time. That is a weird shadow. Alright, so that's definitely a bug there, that we have, like, some weird negative space nonsense going on here. We can just see the ocean right there. He just responded with a Trump baby emo. He got called out. Okay. But yeah, not so those things like people pop in and do that kind of stuff. We'll but yeah, there's no bugs. There's only features. I mean, honestly, like a weird rendering glitch, just like once so far for a release day is not too bad. All right. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that person that showed up, they were just here to cause trouble. But they're looking for like. That's the kind of stuff where they pop in here, and they know if they go and, like, just say something racist or whatever, they're gone instantly. Like, they're not going to get to cause hardly any trouble, because they're just going to be straight out the door. So they try and do that thing where they just kind of, like, barely, like, they're trying to, like, just kind of see how close they can get to the edge. But yeah. Like, the kind of, like, the whole time it's kind of like, okay, I don't know about this person. But when the whole thing is like, you know, like, I'm gonna, like, say something that's, you know, gonna make a whole bunch of people upset, like, you know, games library or whatever. And so it's, like, kind of, like, alluding to, you know, doing, like, the big kind of trouble that's, like, instant ban kind of thing. But then, you know, trying to do something that, again, they're, like, kind of trying, like, a little trouble. Yeah, and you'll probably never hear from me because like, All right, so that's really rough terrain. That's gonna be hard to build anything on. Do you have a stone mine yet? I have questions. I do have a stone mine yet. Now, what are your questions? Yeah, this isn't gonna be a good spot for me to build. I got a stone mine right over here. Which does bring up the question is, I was curious if it was going to actually consume that material. As far as I can tell, it doesn't seem to be consuming the material. But we'll see. Oh, there we go. So it renews at a rate of 691 tons per month. Okay, so that's interesting. So we have a renewal rate. Yeah, so this would imply that we are going to eventually burn through our ore. But, the thing that's been interesting that I saw earlier is it was under the things we can unlock here. The Geological Research Center talks about finding deep underscore deposits. You have lots of supplies of stone. If the city economy is under budget, service trade is a 0. So you're not selling a surplus of anything? Yeah, you have a surplus of stone. If you go to the city economy under budget, the service trade is 0. So, let me see here. Service trade. Yeah, so that's marking as 0, but that's your city services like electricity, sewer, police, fire, education. That's what you're trading there. If you go to your production tab, that's where you're going to see that you're trading away a ridiculous amount of stone. I believe that's where that would happen. That the exports happen. No, the green in revenue. Ah, gotcha. But yeah, that still says, services can be traded for nearby cities. This is health services, vacancies in schools, filled up with students from other cities, surplus fresh water, sewage treatment, excess electricity. So this isn't your trade goods. This is your services, as in like your city services you're trading away. So this is, you know, police, fire, power, water, school capacity, that kind of thing. That's what you're trading here. So that would have nothing to do with your industry stone kind of stuff. Like you can read it over here on the right, what it breaks down what the service trade is. Does that auto sell? I believe so.
This is an emergency broadcast to all citizens.
Increasing areas of forest are being engulfed by flames. The thick smoke
I
rising
wish
from the fire
there
makes
definitely
the air
feels like some
dangerous to
UI
breathe.
stuff that's not super
Citizens
clear.
are advised to vacate any premises near the fires and remain at a safe distance until emergency services manage to get the fires under control.
Yeah, because it says it's exporting it. I don't know where we see the actual monetary gain of the export though. And you know what it probably is? We probably don't, because this is our businesses doing this, not us as the city owner. I'm willing to bet what this does is with all this export, it's benefiting our industries, and then we're getting the extra taxes from the industries, so it's not a direct line through. That's what I'm going to assume is happening here, since it doesn't give us a monetary value here of any kind. Versus this is a business over here that, you know, is making some amount of money. We can't drill in to see it. It must be California, so many forest fires? Maybe. But yeah, no, there's been a couple things we found that there isn't really a UI way to find. You know, actually, I said this wouldn't be a good place for a dam. I'm kind of changing my mind. I didn't realize how raised a lot of this was. It's a little worrisome, but I could see, like, where the ridge is here, putting a small dam here. It wouldn't be a particularly useful one. Oh, and, Tomb, you got resubbed earlier. You were gifted a sub. So no ads for you. I know, you're super disappointed. How else are you gonna have someone try and sell you a car? The same car. 3 ads in a row. Okay, let's go like this. Would you join the tap party? Absolutely. Everyone tapping. Only if you sub.
Yay. Hello, I am here to ask you about your Starship's extended WARENTY.
Oh, bot. Thank you for the biddies cookie. Thank you for the biddies, Dev Sodussi. All 200 biddies, I really do appreciate that support. It does mean a whole heck of a lot that you continue to support the channel. I do appreciate it. Almost feels at times like the bot passive aggressively fights back against all caps. Like that's how it feels sometimes there. That people like all caps it, and it's just like, no, I'm gonna spell it out letter by letter. I'm not saying it. You gotta earn that. Alright, so still, like, they keep wanting more and more industry. I really do need to just give this highway access. I mean, surprisingly... Yeah, surprisingly this intersection isn't getting choked too bad. It's definitely not great, but being blocked, you know, backed up just the one block isn't super awful. This one's getting pretty rough. Back where you have, like, this high density housing and all that. Well, it's actually, I think that's medium density. We keep having more and more people demanding low density. Alright, so we've got more and more people going to the regular college. We're starting to build up more and more university students as well.